you, and if they have any pain at any point, then they use that as leverage against you to prevent paying. Okay, so you want to avoid that. So you have the collections done at the counter. Some staff member are timid. Everyone knows this. I agree. Everyone knows this stuff. But monitoring the staff to make sure they're actually doing it is another thing. The other thing is accounts receivable. Once it's left, you're going to have over 60 days, 90 days accounts receivable. How do you collect that money? Please do not send a collections notice to them immediately. Do not hire a collections company. Do not threaten them with lawyers and lawsuits and everything right away. There's a billionaire named Bill Bartman. At one point in his career, he was an entrepreneur. At one point in his career, he lost his business. He was a multimillionaire, lost it all. And so he was broke again. He owed the government $1 million. He owed banks and the government $1 million. What he did was he found out that he could go to the government auctions for loans, for overdue loans. And he found that he could pay for 10 cents on the dollar and acquire those loans. So what he did is he took a different approach. He took the approach that you treat the person like a human being. And when you treat them like a human being, then you get a little bit more respect. So what happens when you don't treat them like a human being? You start threatening them. Well, they push back. People have a fight or flight response. And when they have a fight or flight response, they'll either scream and yell back at you for serving them a collections notice, or they'll run away and never talk to you again. You don't want that. That doesn't help your collections at all. What helps your collections is treating them like a human being. Now, so what I did was I put that information into a series of letters and treated them like a human being. And then after the fifth or the fourth letter, then if they haven't responded, then you can send them the collections notices and the threatening things and all that. But until that third letter in the call, what I did was we saw that for a couple $100 investment in the letters, the specific letters that I designed based on this knowledge, we recovered several $1,000s back. And that's a pretty good ROI. These are people that weren't coming in to the office for their cleanings because they knew they owed money. And so therefore it works, and that's the strategy you have. Now that comes, I give that system as a bonus to either my best month ever promotion, big case marketing promotion, or the Double Your Patience DVD set. The next place to increase your profits. Now, just to backtrack, I'm looking at ways to increase your profits that you can accomplish right now. That doesn't require any additional money beyond just a few bucks here and there. We want to make sure that you're covering your tracks. Getting the money back that you're owed is extra profit for you. Okay, so one of the biggest things, and I wrote about it in an article in Dental Town, is called the biggest bottleneck in your business. That whenever you're doing this marketing, you're doing advertising, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing and advertising your business. What happens when they call your business? What happens when they call your office? Someone in the front staff answers. When someone in the front staff answers, are you completely confident that they are trained to the top of the line, that they will handle any call and book every single person that calls in? No, right? And it's even worse than that. So a lot of times, due to lack of training and just maybe they're too busy and they get bogged down, not enough emphasis is placed on that initial contact. So it doesn't matter how many leads you get from all your marketing. If your staff and the person that they talk to as soon as they come in the door or they call you, if they're not completely fluid and handling the patient perfectly, you're going to lose them, and you're going to lose thousands of dollars in marketing, and you're going to lose thousands of dollars in potential business, new patients. And those patients bring new patients and their family, and they go for big cases eventually, and that's tens of thousands of dollars in lifetime that you're going to lose just because that one little tiny communication from the marketing or just from random walking around or referrals to getting into your office. That seems like a point that can easily be taken care of, doesn't it? So when I first started working in dental offices, I used to get the staff to do everything. And what happened was, because of the busyness of the office, the staff started to lose track of everything. The training that we provided was drifting away. You can always keep retraining them, but the point is, keeps drifting away, and then you have mistakes, and it's not their fault because they're trying to handle the schedule, they're trying to handle people coming in and out and all that. But the new patient is the most important thing to your office because they keep the blood flowing, they keep the blood circulating. So making sure that biggest bottleneck is widened so that it's not a bottleneck anymore. It's actually pretty fluid and things flow properly through it. So after a while, as I was saying, after a while, I noticed that I was listening to patient calls, and we keep training them, and of course after a while I started to come up with systems that prevent that. So I keep working on ways to automate the whole marketing process so that when people call, they're just ready to book, and it's all tracked and tested and everything like that, and I don't need the staff's input as much to get this information going. And in the result has been something that's been a lot easier to manage because you just manage the system instead of worrying about day-to-day activities of the staff. Now it's not perfect because you can't cut the staff out of the interaction altogether. You have to have someone in there, but if you have all that stuff in place, then at least you can accomplish a lot, get back a lot of your profit. The other strategy is increasing your case acceptance. Out of 10 treatment plans that you present to people, how many actually go forward with it? Big cases, small cases, how many do say, I'll think about it, and then you never hear from them again regarding that treatment plan? Do your staff follow up? A lot of it's how you talk to people. And when you're talking to your patient right off the bat, then you have positioning. You want to make sure the battle is won before it is fought, and that's one thing that my big case marketing system does, is it positions you correctly so that when you are presenting the case, then they go forward with it a lot more often than just out of cold. Another one is using the tools of influence, such as this one, Chaldi.